Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fatback 480. It is Tuesday the 27th of August. I am Gav, as always. This show tonight is brought to you by Paddy Power, as always. Paddy Power is a bookmaker, so you can get their app on Apple devices, Android devices, all the devices. If you gamble responsibly. Go on there, you can get your odds on Liverpool, you can get the specials we do every week on the LFC Day Trip as part of Paddy Power's app, and every sport going, anything you need an odds on, absolutely go to Paddy Power and they will look after you. If you don't gamble, you know yourself, you know the message by now. Disregard everything I've said. It's not for you. That is absolutely no problem whatsoever. What are we going to do tonight? Well, we're going to have a chat around Bobby Duncan. I think we're going to start with that. We're going to go wherever else you come up, anything else you come up with, throw it in there. You know the rule. Anything you have, whether it's football, non-football, Liverpool, non-Liverpool, anything you want, throw it in there and we'll see how we get on. With me tonight, I have the host of the Cop Table, Peter Phillips. He's going to help me through this next half an hour or so. And if you have anything random for Peter and you want to try catch him out, absolutely walk away. Peter, how the hell are you?
Very good, thanks, Gav. Yeah, looking forward to the show again. Good win at the weekend, and looking forward to Burnley at this coming weekend now.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I said we're going to start on Bobby Duncan. What was I going to say? Yeah, there's talk around Bobby Duncan that he's looking for a new challenge. He's not happy that he hasn't been. Apparently, he's not happy that he's not getting a look in the first team squad. I think it was Fiorentina were meant to be looking at him for a loan or a permanent deal. And I think it might have been a team somewhere in Scandinavia as well. What do you make of this, Peter? Because for me, it's a bit rich coming from a player that got into a pre-season tour, because our main men were had to be away at international tournaments, and all of a sudden now he's not happy that he's not in the first team squad. Am I being a bit harsh on him there?
It all depends what's going on behind the scenes, doesn't it? I think we don't know what Bobby Duncan's being told or being promised, if you like, by the club when he came from Manchester City. I know he saw his contract out there, didn't he? Let it run down and moved to Liverpool for a free transfer. So, like you say, it seems that there's been a couple of clubs from abroad interested in taking Bobby. Fiorentina, like you said, with an option of a loan to buy deal, something that I think they offered around 1.8, 1.6 million between that, according to the Liverpool Echo, and a Danish club, FC Nordsjælland, was supposed to be interested in taking him on loan as well. So I just think it seems that the club are happy to keep hold of him at the moment, and it all depends on the player as well. Does he see his this coming season spending his time with the under-23s, or is he wanting to push on towards the first team? Obviously, you've got Brewster, who looks to be ahead of him in the pecking order, doesn't he? So it's going to be an interesting situation with Duncan. Does he go to the club and say he wants to leave, or is he happy to listen to what the club is saying and spend the season with the 23s? And depending on what happens throughout the season, he may get a look in League Cup games or FA Cup games, things like that. So I just think it's one of them to be kept an eye on.
Yeah, it's just like Kevin Sullivan says here, the talk of Duncan wanting away surprises me, considering he waited a year to get to Liverpool. Could this be, I don't mean to be cynical on this, Peter, but could this be an agent throwing stuff out there, maybe looking for a better deal for their player, maybe getting an improved deal because he went on the American tour in pre-season? Could it be something like that?
Quite possibly, yeah. Could be people working behind the scenes to try and manoeuvre him into a different position within the squad, or whether that's to try and get him a move away. But as we've seen in the past with players at Liverpool who rocked the boat, then the club don't tend to see to look on this in a good way, do they? We've had the likes of Sacco and Markovic, who've been made to train at the academy in the past, haven't we? And also Kent's another one who doesn't know what's going on with him. I think he's another one whose future is up in the air. So I just think if you don't want to sort of rub the club up the wrong way, because they're prepared to dig the heels in themselves, and obviously the club's bigger than any player and always will be. So I think if it is an agent working behind the scenes, then he'd have a lot to answer for, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I'm probably being a bit cynical there on that, but I've seen stuff like, you know, the Raheem Sterling thing is the big one. You know, where an agent got involved. Then you had the guy that the player's name's going to be. He ended up at Watford.
Sinclair.
Sinclair. You know, again, looking for you know, contracts and stuff like that. It's just this strikes me as a player with a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong, absolutely don't get me wrong, but it strikes me as a player and something may be going on in the background where they're manoeuvring themselves into a position for the kind of, you know, force Liverpool's hand a little bit maybe on a new contract. But look, it's one of those things. I just thought it was a bit strange when it come up today. Peter, I have you on tonight, and we're having a discussion last night over Anfield. We're having discussions over the capacity it could go up to, the area itself, the infrastructure, the facilities, the match day experience. You know, you go to a hell of a lot of games at Anfield. So I know this discussion went on last night, but I thought I'd ask you about it again. And sorry, just before I do, Kicker are hinting at a fresh bid from a German side for Lovren, apparently. So if anyone else wants to come along and add to that and see where we're going with that, by all means do, and we'll have a look at it towards the end of the show. But Peter, Anfield itself, so the talk is that the planning permission for the existing plans to extend the Anfield Road end have now passed without Liverpool acting on them. The talk from the club was, you know, the words coming from them was a new, bigger, more ambitious plan for Anfield. I don't really want to go into the planning debate and stuff like that, but from your point of view, as somebody that goes to the majority of games at Anfield every season, what's the change been like in the area over the last, say, I suppose 5-10 years, you know, with the development of the main stand and the area around the ground? Because for me, over the last 10-15 years, it's astronomical, the change around the area.
Yeah, well, since the building of the new main stand, obviously all the houses behind that was knocked down, and I think the club bought a lot of them houses off the people who own them, didn't need to enable them to build that new main stand. So yeah, the change in that area has been it's been unbelievable, really. You've also got the new club shop on that site as well, and it's enabled to have the fan park at the back as well, where all the kids and that can go and do some little games of football, and sometimes you have the Mighty Red mascot knocking around there and things like that. So it's been really good, and obviously the employment in the area, it's brought a lot of jobs in for people who are working in and outside the stadium. So the change has been absolutely brilliant, and for anyone who's been to the new main stand and witnessed it for themselves, then it's an unbelievable place to watch the game. And if you up in the clouds there, you can see over all three stands. So it's a fantastic viewpoint. But yeah, if we go ahead also with the Anfield Road, and it's going to make it even an even better stadium, isn't it? All four sides will near enough equal. And then there's also talk of in the future as well that there could be another extension to the COP, which would be another great asset to the club. So yeah, it's one to keep an eye on. It looks like it's in the pipeline, and there's also talk of the new train station being built, isn't there, towards Anfield, because the nearest station is quite a few miles away from the stadium. So if we can get a train station closer in as well, that'd be even better. So yeah, it's all positive news surrounding the stadium at the moment, I think.
A couple of people mentioning there, Chris Brack says the club needs to improve the facilities on the Cop and the Kenny, as it's like going back in time compared to the main stand facilities. In fairness, most things would. The main stand is, what, 3 years old now, is it? We're in our third season with the new main stand. It's going to be way above what's in the Kenny Dalglish stand and the Cop as it stands now. The Cop is 25 years old, I think. It's seating about 25 years now, isn't it? It would be. North Red says raise the Cop up like Dortmund's yellow wall. It's intimidating now. What it be like then? Just looking at the extension, because somebody said to me last night, Peter, 80,000. Let's go for 80,000. I find it hard to see where Liverpool can put 80,000 seats in this area that they have now. Like, if I look, I'll put it to you, right? If you wanted to forget the Kenny Dalglish stand from me for the moment, right? Because I think that'll be the hardest to develop, because the house is back right onto the car park there. But if you look at the Anfield Road end and the Cop end, if we were to extend them, are we going to have to go over the road at the Anfield Road, because you do have that fan park directly behind? Are they going to have to reroute a road? And the same with the Cop. You come out the back, you have the big club store there, you have the pub just on the corner, and you have the Walton Brick Road that runs fairly close to the Cop as well. What way would you see them trying to do it, if, say, for both them ends? What way would they have to try walk around it?
Yeah, there was a piece in the Liverpool Echo not long ago that sort of tried to explain the situation, what would happen if the Anfield Road end, which was the subject at the time, was to be extended, and there was talk of the roads having to be rerouted around the stadium because of the impact that it would have on the local roads. And I think if the Cop was to be extended, that's what goes without saying, doesn't it? Because the road's directly behind. Pretty much similar with the Anfield Road as well. Yeah. So it's the whole infrastructure of the area would have to be developed and changed. So there will be a lot of work going on, not just on the stadium, but also the surrounding areas for all to come together, really.
Yeah, for me, it's like the Anfield Road. When you come out the back of the Anfield Road end, you're on the Anfield Road. You step out that turnstile and you're on the street. You're on the roadway. Like the Cop, you have a little bit more to play with when you come out, especially around the corner of the new main stand. But just to put 80,000 seats in there, I think it's the way things sit now. It's a little bit optimistic. I really do think that. Let me see. Super Al says, can't we close that part of any road permanently? Assume all part of a major redevelopment plan. Super Al is mad into this redevelopment plan. But as I said to him before, we're going to have to wait and see, exactly what way the plans are, because when they bring out the plans for whether it be the Anfield Road end, the Cop, the Kenny Dalglish stand, they're going to have to show the surrounding area, and you get a better idea as exactly what they're looking for then. Just moving on though, and on to some football. A good win at the weekend, Peter. I made it perfectly clear over the weekend. I thought the coverage of the game by certain broadcasters was disgraceful. They talked Arsenal up for 80 minutes in a game that they never came close to winning, nowhere near close to winning. 3 from 3, and I'm quite happy we have Burnley in this game before we cut for the international break. Are you confident going into this weekend with the start that we've had?
Yeah, pretty much so. You have to be confident, don't you, going into the game, top of the league, 3 out of 3. Obviously, Burnley's not too far away, so there's not going to be an awful amount of travelling to be done. No long trains or plane journeys for us. It's just like a 45 minutes an hour coach journey down the road. So that's another positive going into this game. But seems from the reports that I've read the past couple of days that this is possibly a game that Klopp could rotate 1 or 2 players just before the international break. Can't see it being any of the front 3. I think they'll still start the game. Although, depending on how things go, they may come off to give themselves a little bit of a rest before the international break. But midfield there could be an area where we could change. Milner could possibly come into that, and Chamberlain's another one who's a possibility of coming into the midfield. You've also got Joe Gomez, who's sat out the past and run out, and if Trent's called up, I don't know whether England's playing or not. If Trent's called up, he could look to give him a little bit of a breather in this game. You've also got Shaqiri, who hasn't had any minutes whatsoever, has he? This season, he's another one who could possibly come into the lineup or could be utilised off the bench. So, from the reports that I've been reading, that there could be one or two changes from the Klopp might look to
Sunderland. Well, we have another full week off the prep. Are they home or away? It's interesting. I'll be interested to see if they're home or away tomorrow, Chris. Chris also says Burnley away would be the perfect game for Milner. I tend to agree. I think if there's going to be a change, it might be a midfield, and you might see Milner come in for one of the lads. Philip Greeley says he heard we're looking to sign Matip up on a new deal. We were talking about that last night, Philip. The rumour going around is that Liverpool are ready to offer Matip a new deal. I'll get Peter's thoughts on that now in a couple of seconds. Mick reckons that Gomez comes in for Trent. I don't know. I have this thing where he goes as strong as he can until this international break. That's just the way I feel about it. And then he gets the international break, gets through it, see who comes back and who's in good nick when they come back, and go from there. But you will see a little bit more of rotation, I think, after the international break, especially amongst the players that will have to go away and play. Burnley are at home tomorrow night, says Chris back. It'd be interesting though. It's a competition Burnley should be looking to go far in, considering where they may finish in the league. Joel Matip, Peter, outstanding again at the weekend. I always, whenever I mention Joel Matip, I have to kind of say that I was one that didn't rate him. I was one that felt I would have had Lovren in before him, going back 12 months ago. But I think the biggest thing for Joel Matip, believe it or not, and it might sound crazy, but I think the biggest thing for Joel Matip was Joe Gomez's form at the start of last season. I think Matip may have looked at Lovren before that and thought, I'll get in before him. You know, there's always a mistake in him. He doesn't play too many games on the regular. He doesn't put a string of games together. And then Joe Gomez shows up and plays 13 games on the trot and is outstanding, gets an injury. And I think Matip then realises, I have to get in here and I have to make this count. And I think that's been a massive to his psychology. He's a lot more aggressive. He's a lot more front foot. He's a lot more assertive. But when it comes to a contract, Peter, sign him up. Would that be your opinion as well? Sign him up and give him a deal for maybe a 2-year extension or a 3-year extension?
Yeah, I think he deserves a new deal, most definitely. So when he came in on the free transfer from Germany, can't remember which club he signed from, but took us a little bit of time to settle, didn't he? But once he found his feet, he's come good, and he's a really useful player to have in the centre of our defence, not just for his aerial ability, but he can bring out for the ball from the back. He sometimes decides on going on them little crazy runs of his, doesn't he, and takes the ball into midfield and gets himself into some useful positions. But he's played in a defensive midfield role out in Germany in the past, so he's got that in his locker. He feels comfortable when moving into them areas of the field with the ball. So yeah, he's definitely a player that's very useful to our squad, and he's pretty much now a regular first choice, isn't he? So for me, it's a no-brainer to offer him a new contract. I think he's only got 10 months left on his deal, so you don't want to be leaving that to go down too long, have you? Because obviously we've seen with the likes of Emre Can, who's stalled over deals, and we've ended up losing a player who's probably worth 15 to 20 million pound in the transfer market, and we have to let him go on a free transfer last season. So I think with the likes of Matip coming down now, I think that it won't be too long, if not in the very near future, that you'll see some sort of deal offered to Joel Matip. James Milner's another one whose contract's running down, isn't it? So obviously his age is against him. Whether the club does decide to offer Milner another contract, that'd be another one that could be looked at. It'd be interesting to see what the people in the comments section would say about the offer of a contract to James Milner. Me personally, I'd be all for offering him another 1 or 2 years to add to his current contract, due to the fact that his experience and his know-how and the way he is around the dressing room with all the other lads. Seems to be one of the main characters in that dressing room, doesn't he? And puts everyone at ease. And if you need a bit of an arse kicking at half time or whatever, he's one of them people who's prepared to stand up and do that. I think he's the vice captain of the club as well, isn't he? So be interesting to see what happens with Milner. But on the original point of Joel Matip, I think we definitely will be offering him a new deal in the very near future, and hopefully he'll sign up for a few more years as well.
I'm absolutely in agreement with you on that. With Milner and Matip, North Red is having a great time about Arsenal Fan TV. He said that they're all on there. They're absolute balloons. They're telling each other that they gave as good as they got. This some fella called Toy says they didn't hammer us. Maybe we pushed it to the sword, and it could have been all right. You probably could have had 2, but we could have had 7 or 8. We really could. Mooney Ronan, I've never seen that name on here before, so you're welcome. He says Virgil, Salah, Mane, the likes are huge players for us, but is Trent one of our most important players too? His attacking threat can't be underestimated. I'm convinced we'd have won the league had he not got, I don't know what's going on there. Injured last season. He was out for the games we drew. Trent, for me, hasn't had the best starts this season. He looks a little bit hesitant. I'm constantly saying that word, hesitant, about Trent. Just not a lack of belief in himself, but just a little bit of aggression. I think he was missing. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought he was excellent on Saturday. He was back to what he was really good at. He was getting his tackles done. He was doing his defensive duties. He was really high up the pitch. He was dribbling with the ball. He was passing it. He was really excellent. Balls into the box. Same with Robertson on the far side. But for me, Trent, I think he's an outstanding talent. I really do. But I think he just needs to be, like, he's only 20 years of age or whatever, and this will come. He just needs to be absolutely sure of himself. And when he actually realises how good a player he is and how good a side he's playing in, I think he will go on to be. He could go down as one of the best right backs Liverpool have ever had. I believe that. I genuinely believe that. I think when you talk about, in 20 years' time, when you're talking about the best right backs Liverpool have ever had, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold will definitely be in that conversation if he continues on the trajectory that he's on. We've about 10 minutes left, I think, probably a little bit less. If you're on Periscope watching this, hit the share button, share it onto your timeline. And if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Cost you nothing. This is absolutely free. It will always be free. The only thing I ask you is to spread the word. If you spread the word, the more people we get on here, the more opinions, the better. We have about 6 or 7 minutes left. If you have any random questions, non-football, would be even better. Throw them at me and Peter for the last couple of minutes, and it's always a bit of fun when we do that. Let me see. Mick says a few of our players up their level versus Arsenal could be to do with the late pre-season. You know something, Peter? I've been amazed at the standard of play we've had coming back. Now, I know we've won games and Norwich was handy, Southampton was hard work, but more so because of the Super Cup. And I thought the other day we were brilliant. But let's look at the likes of Bobby Firmino. Come back to the World Cup last year, looked very lethargic for the first couple of months of the season. It's for me, it's night and day his form this season, isn't it, compared to last?
Yeah, he's been outstanding since he came back from pre-season. Really, yeah, he stayed out with Brazil, didn't he? I think they won the Copa America. Obviously, that's given him a big boost in confidence, scoring goals and winning that trophy over there. But yeah, since he's come back, he's just looked phenomenal. The way he's like the glue that sticks that team together, isn't he? And you're seeing at the weekend at one point in the game, Firmino chased, I think it was a defender and then a midfielder near enough back to his own penalty area. So his work rate is just absolutely outstanding, and to go alongside that, the talent that he's got with his first touch, his vision, his creativity, his movements on and off the ball is second to none. And I think he's very much an underrated player by the press in this country. I think they see more Salah and Firmino, Salah and Mane as the the two main threats. But I think without Firmino in the side, these two players wouldn't be half the players that they are, because he does so much work in and around that front three to help them out during games. So yeah, he's been phenomenal since he came back, and I expect him to have probably one of his best seasons in a Liverpool shirt, most definitely. He's also commented that recently, hasn't he, how comfortable he is at the club and how welcome he's been made to feel. He's thought to himself he's never imagined to be welcomed or loved by the fans the way he is in Liverpool. Loves playing in the stadium, loves everything about the club. So he's vital for our team going forward, and long may his form continue.
Okay. Mooney Ronan asks views on Brewster. Would like to see him get a few minutes off the bench. I think you'll see Brewster after the international break. I think that's when you'll start to see the likes of Shaqiri get a few more minutes. You'll see Lallana get a little bit more. I think you might see Brewster on the bench for 1 or 2 games. But as I said, we need to start using this squad as early as we possibly can. Don't do it, don't do it towards the end of the season when you have to. Do it because you can earlier on in the season. It gives everyone a break, and it makes it that little bit more fresh when it comes into the run in, April, May. Mick has a very interesting question for us, Peter. I'll take it first and let you have a little think. Which way round do you make a cup of tea? Cup of tea, tea bag in the cup, hot water in on top of the tea bag, store the tea bag, squeeze the tea bag, add milk, add sugar, store, drink. That's the way I go. Peter, do you do it any way different to me?
Yeah, into the kitchen, turn left, round the table, straight to the kettle. and is it milk first, water first? Is it? I know people that make it and they stick the milk and the sugar into the cup with the tea bag. They just pour it in, squeeze the tea bag, store and walk away. Is it? Do you do it? Is that the way you do it? Yeah, boil the kettle, hot water over the tea bag first, then add the sugar, then add the milk, squeeze the tea bag, and then that's it. Tea bag into the bin. But I'm not a tea drinker, to be honest. I'm more coffee myself.
I don't drink it.
Yeah, I'm more a coffee drinker. So it's usually milk first with that if anybody's interested. Coffee in, then the water, so you don't burn the coffee. Whether I'm doing it wrong with the tea bags, I'm not sure, but that's the way I go around it.
All right, and one last one. Super Al asks, which Olympics most iconic memory from your past, excluding London? His is Barcelona, the high dive board in 1992. I don't know what that fucking is. It's diving in the water. Who was diving? Who got it for you? My Olympic memory, my best Olympic memory, both boxing. First one was Michael Carruth winning gold in Barcelona in '92 for Ireland, and the second one was Katie Taylor winning gold. Actually in London, wasn't it? She won it 2012, so I can't have that. I'll just take Michael Carruth winning the boxing. I thought it was brilliant. And then the girl that won all the swimming medals for Ireland, and it turned out she was on a load of drugs. So I thought that was great. But look, she got caught. What can you do? We're gonna leave it there. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily for Tuesday. If one person is on there saying something about the sound, now I don't know what's going on with the software, but our setup is absolutely spot on, and the software is sending this out in a different way. We're actually working on it. We've bought new equipment today. Some of it arrived today, some of it will arrive in the next day or two, and we're in the next week anyway. We'll have a brand new setup with regards to this. You won't be looking at me sitting in a room with lovely wallpaper behind. I'll actually take your suggestions wherever you want behind me. It's all green screen stuff and all going on. It's way too technical for me. I literally turn up with a cup of tea and press play or press record and I go from there. But within the next week or so to be a brand new setup. This screen will probably look the same, but the likes of the software and stuff is being upgraded and checked, because we have had a couple of issues over the last few days. Nothing to do with us. We're absolutely doing what we're meant to do. It's just this is becoming a little bit less reliable, so we'll have to wait and see. But look, I just thought I don't know why I've even explained that to you. Like that's 15 seconds of your life you can never get back. But what can I do? Peter, thanks a million for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, no problem, Gav. Enjoyed it again. Thanks everybody for the comments. Superb.
Good stuff. Someone's called me Gav Goldbridge. I'm not as smart as that man. That man is a genius. He looks like he's in a high-tech studio. The chances are I'll take a picture of a pub and stick it behind me. Or a farmyard. Anything you want, I'll do it. But yeah, no, that's been it. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily. We will be back tomorrow with you at 10 p.m. Start thinking of your bets for the weekend, people. Start thinking of your special bets. Start lashing them into the comments here tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. I am going to pick somebody to put the bet forward this week. And you know yourself, the winner stays on. You know, we'll explain it all again to people tomorrow. But that's been it. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Talk to you soon. Over and out.